we are extremely privileged that we have our Honorable Vice President Shri Venkaiah Naidu ji to bless us on this occasion. He has been very strongly spreading the message of family values. He is a great practical thinker, and his preachings are drawn out of grassroots experience of life. We are truly honored, sir, to have you with us. A very warm welcome to him, and I also welcome all those who are witnessing this historic conference. I will conclude with this shloka. Nasti matru samachaya, nasti matru samagati, nasti matru samamtrana, nasti matru samapriya. There is no shelter like mother. There is no support and strength like mother. There is no protection like mother. And there is no one as dear as mother. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
I'm extremely happy to be here amidst you all today in this historic and important conference. I really feel very happy because this is a subject matter which is very dear to my heart. I lost my mother when I was 1 year, 3 months old. I missed the affection and love of mother. Of course, it was compensated by my grandmother who has taken care to bring me up in my life. Whenever the word mother comes to me, I feel really very emotional because mother plays an important role in the society, in the life of an individual, and in the life of a family. And mother is the central figure for the entire family system, I can say, even for the entire mankind also. Without mother, there is no creation. We have to understand that. I am delighted to be here with all of you today for this international conference on Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, family system and the role of mother. Let me extend my deep appreciation to Indira Gandhi National Center for Arts for organizing this momentous conference. The theme of the conference is highly relevant one, an idea that we must ponder upon, especially in this fast-paced world where families are increasingly being fragmented by emerging socio-economic and cultural factors. I am very happy to know that this institution is committed to in-depth research, promotion, and preservation of Indian arts and culture. I applaud the Indira Gandhi National Cultural Organization Center for its efforts towards understanding women's history from an Indian perspective through its Nari Samvad Prakalp, the gender studies program. I am told that this event is being organized in collaboration with Foundation for Holistic Development in academic field, an organization that has been actively involved helping needs of the students and people from broader areas. My dear sisters and brothers, Ayam Bandhuraya Neti Ganana Lagu Chetasam Udara Chiritanam Hi Vasudaika Kutumbakam. The meaning, the distinction of this person is mine and this one is not, is made only by narrow-minded or ignorant people. For those who are of noble conduct or the one who knows the ultimate truth, the whole world is one family. That is the basic philosophy of India, our civilization. Share and care is the core of Indian philosophy. Sarve jana sukhino bhavantu. That all the people must live in harmony and happiness. That is the guiding philosophy. That's why this civilization, which is more than 5,000 years old, is still surviving and thriving and shining. The very name of the country, we call it as a motherland. We don't call fatherland. That's a tradition of this country. And also, the language also, we call it as mother tongue. The language that has come from mother's womb. We must promote, propagate, protect, and feel proud of our mother tongues, whatever it is, whichever mother tongue you may have. In India, there is no dearth of mother tongues. There are more than 760 plus languages. 22 officially recognized languages also. All these great rivers in this country are named after women. It may be a matter of interest to you, Ganga, Yamuna, Kaveri, Mahanadi, Brahmaputra, Tapati. So many. I can give you 100 names. Because that is the respect this society, this civilization is to give to women. Joshiji was telling about goddesses and all, whoever believes in Puranic things. The women were always central to our civilization. The phrase Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is made up of the three Sanskrit words. Vasudha means earth, that is the world. Aiva, that is like. And Kutumbakam, large extended family. That is the meaning of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. These verse finds mention in Maha Upanishad and is further referred to in the Hitopadesha and other literary works of India. The context of the verse is to describe the attributes of an individual who has attained the highest level of spiritual progress and one who is capable of performing his worldly duties without any sense of attachment to the material possessions. This verse has been the guiding light for the Indian family system since time immemorial. Our ethos and socio-cultural fabric is woven around this perspective phrase, and our worldly wisdom resonates with such moorings visualized and expressed lucidly by our sages. I am also glad that this conference is a celebration of motherhood. The entire world is indebted to mothers, and this is the reason that all the religions in all parts of the world, mothers hold a special position of relevance and reverence. All religions also. Hinduism says, Janani Janma Bhumischa Swargadapi Gariyasi. It's a Sanskrit word. The mother and the motherland are superior even to the heavens. That is the meaning. Janani Janma Bhumischa Swargadapi Gariyasi. In Islam, the Prophet Muhammad also says in a famous narration, Al Janato Tahata Akdam Al Hat, meaning paradise lies at the feet of your mother. That is the meaning. In Christianity, motherhood is spoken of throughout scriptures as a high and important calling. Children are viewed as a blessing, a heritage from the Lord, and a reward from Him. The Rig Veda reveals a tolerant and unbiased society where women and men were equal and women enjoyed great liberty. In the Rig Veda family, the matriarch occupied a place of great importance, so much so that the compound word for father and mother stated Matara Pitara. Signaling the importance of mother, the word Matri is used most often to refer to mother. We also find some words like Matrutama, meaning very loving mother, to denote the expanse of the concept. In the Rig Veda times, the mother was identified as the most important person in one's life. In the Vedic culture, there were several Vedic Rishikas, that is woman seers, who were the fountainheads of wisdom. They lived the ideal life of spirituality and chose the path of Vedic studies those days. Co-education seems to have existed in this period, and all the students got equal attention from teacher irrespective of their gender. It is remarkable that young girls during the Vedic times were given education after undergoing an initiation ceremony, just like the boys, Yajnopavita. In the Puranic tradition, women are considered as the harbingers of power and prosperity and revered as Lakshmi. In the modern world, Lakshmi is a finance minister. Saraswati, education minister. Parvati, defense minister. The other day we had a lady as defense minister, now she has become a finance minister. That's the Puranas, of course. That speaks of the beliefs. The great Bhishma explained the same concept in Mahabharata, the great epic, to his great grandson Yudhishthira. O ruler of the earth, Yudhishthira, the lineage in which daughters and daughter-in-laws are saddened by ill treatment, the lineage is destroyed. When out of their grief, these women curse these households. Such households lose their charm, prosperity and happiness. In Mahabharata Anushasan Parva. Manu Samhita says, Yatra naryantu pujyante ramayante tatra devataha. Yatra tastuna pujyante sarvastara palakriya. Meaning, where women are honored, there the gods are pleased. But where they are not honored, no sacred rite yields rewards. Where the female relations live in grief, the family soon wholly perishes. That the family where they are not unhappy, they will prosper. Sekta Sutra establishes goddess of feminine as the ultimate transcendental reality as well. Adya Shakti is considered as the mother of all origins, the matrix of the unborn. All forms of knowledge are aspects of thee, and all women throughout the world are thy forms. That is Devi Mahatya. As a mother, woman becomes a figure of profound reverence. Treat your mother as a Deva, Matru Devo Bhava. We say first Matru Devo Bhava, then Pitru Devo Bhava, then Guru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava. That is the belief and tradition of India. First we say Matru Devo Bhava. Mother is like God, that's the English meaning. Hinduism, indeed, God is described as the mother in many verses as mentioned in the Devi Mahatmya. The Atharvana Veda states that woman should be valiant, scholarly, prosperous, intelligent and knowledgeable. They should take part in the legislative chambers and be protectors of family and society. The Yajurveda tells us, scholarly woman purifies our lives with her intellect. Through her actions, she purifies our actions. Through her knowledge, she promotes virtue and efficient management of society. In any family, be it nuclear, joint, united or extended, the mother is at the center. She is the bond that holds the family together. By her dedication, she converts the four walls of the house into the home where love, affection, respect for others, selfless contribution towards family, society and country exist. I would confidently say that in our culture, women are considered not just as equal to men, but in many respects superior. Unfortunately, somewhere along the way, our strong values have been weakened to some extent. We must take care of these weaklings, correct them, and go back to our roots and our civilization. Today, we see a formidable rise in violence against women in certain quarters, and abandonment and ill treatment of elderly mothers also in certain places. Slowly, this habit of picking up of keeping parents and elders in old age homes. I told some of these people, don't at least call it as an old age home, call it as an elder's home, because you will also get old age tomorrow or day after. The elders, they should be respected. That's our tradition. Mahatma Gandhi, who used the term Stri Shakti, once wrote, the way we treat our woman is an indicator for the richness of our culture. No one can deny that men may have greater physical power than women, but women have more internal strength and energy. That is the reason that women are identified as Shakti, the embodiment of power. In the Vedic civilization, the weakening of Shakti will lead the weakening of the family, society, and the country too. True, we have taken a number of steps to secure the rightful position of respect and leadership of our women, from Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao to institutionalizing 50% reservation in local self-government for women. Much more needs to be done to protect women and give them equal platform. We hear here and there some atrocities against women also. Very bad, condemnable and all. But they have to be rectified not by legislative action alone. Yes, legislation is needed. I remember when there was a discussion, there was one Nirbhaya Prakaran happened in Delhi, one unfortunate girl. She was brutally tortured. So there was in our country, we developed a system, whenever there is some problem, people say, talk about new bill. When there was a discussion in Parliament about the new bill, I was member of the Parliament at that time. Now, of course, I am the chairman. I said at that time, Chairman sir, I don't want to speak, but I just want to add one line. The then chairman said, yes, proceed. Then I told him, what is required is not a new bill. What is required is political will, administrative skill, go for the kill of the social evil. This is a social evil. These social evils, they should be totally eliminated by creating awareness among the people. Of course, the system, the government, the police, and they should act. But why these things are happening? Because of the mindset, because full of values, traditions and culture. So that is the root cause. So we must see to it that we again imbibe this culture to our children, the future generation, even worldwide. The same is the case. Women, they have to be given due respect and they have to be educated first. As it was explained, if you educate a man, you are educating a person. If you educate a woman, you are educating a family. That's the reality of the life. So that being the case, we must. I believe that without discussing the rich philosophy of Indian family system and tradition, a deliberation on family systems and values would remain incomplete. Our forefathers developed the best family model upon the values of sacrifice, respect and togetherness and practiced the same for ages together. The very family life gives you happiness. It gives you solace. If there are problems personal, you get a relief from the advice of elders. Spending time with grandmother, spending time with grandfather, spending time with mother, it gives you immense satisfaction, immense energy and motivation. That is the experience, even my own experience also. That is the guidance we used to get from our joint families, from our grandparents and all. So the world over, now people are realizing that Indian family values, Indian family system is really a way forward to have harmony in the society, to have concern for each other, and also to give us inner peace. If you have tension, you cannot pay attention. Peace is the prerequisite, and peace comes through proper counseling within the family, rather than going to police station, making a complaint and then being called and waiting for legislative or legal remedy and all. The family counseling, the togetherness, every action of everybody is noticed by other person, and then correctives or guidance or counseling or senior advice or proper advice, a brotherly advice, a sisterly advice, a motherly advice, or a grandparent's advice, some or a friendly advice, this is all given in the family system. So family value, there I say that entire humanity must get back to family value. Family is not one religion. In every religion there are families. Religion is a way of worship. You can practice whatever religion you want. You are free. But culture, living together, the family culture, that gives you immense potential, immense strength and happiness. I am speaking out of my own personal experience. The guiding force for our value system were the Vedas, and it's because of this Vedic foundation that the institution of marriage and the philosophy of an inclusive family, which has assimilated the entire world into its fold without any discrimination, come into being. The marriage system also is also another strong bond. It also gives you happiness, satisfaction, love through marriage. Strong family system can be the best possible solution to overcome several crippling social evils. India can be a role model for the entire world because of its robust family value system, which has successfully withstood the test of time. India, like most other less industrialized traditional Eastern societies, emphasizes more on family integrity, family loyalty, and family unity. You go for some selection, you go for some election, you go for some correction, you go for anything. People in India, they try to find out what is the family background. You go for a marriage, people ask what is the family background. So the family is a very, very important aspect. That should be the world order to explain to the society what is your background, what are you, who are you. That will be known through your family. India has grown and attained its current stature under strong and supportive framework of its joint family system. Here, the presence of the elderly, children learned lessons of ethics and moralities. Respecting and loving elders, caring for them, and seeking their wise counsel while taking important decisions are few practices which are followed in Indian joint families. Now, slowly people are getting tempted to television, cell phone, spending a lot of time and not able to find time to spend time with grandmothers and grandparents. It's a negative trend which has to be curbed. Nothing wrong in seeing a cinema for a while, but getting addicted to television 24/7 or getting addicted to phone also. Cell phone is useful, but cell phone can become a hell phone also if you use it too much. If you use it too much, it will create tension always. And moreover, with the social media, advent of social media, there are opportunities. You get unrestricted information, but sometimes you get information without confirmation. Information with confirmation is more than ammunition. And information without confirmation is also again ammunition to destroy negatively. So this has to be taken care, and you should use it preciously to the extent that is required. This is my advice to all the younger generation across the globe and across the country also. The joint family system develops a sense of responsibility, a propensity of adjustment and love for disciplining children. They get that adjustment mentality from the family, and they get that love and affection from the family. And also the right from an early age discipline. In case of disagreements, agree to disagree, still live together. That is the lesson you get from the family. The matters are wisely sorted out by consultative and democratic processes. We are now hearing there and there stories in certain parts of the globe and particularly western parts also, the stories that are happening. Children opening fire. So many things are happening. This is all because of that lack of family system. Instead of taking unilateral decisions, you will be able to take corrective decision after proper application and wiser consultation. But we must also recognize that with the advent of urbanization and modernization, even in India, joint families are being fragmented. People are migrating in search of jobs, quite natural. And thus new family systems are emerging in the evolving socio-economic scenario, replacing the traditional joint family model. Wherever you are, you must keep in touch with your family on daily basis. This is my advice. That gives you a lot of support and inspiration, and you can share your problems or your joy. Any change is of course inevitable. You can't totally reverse. Whatever the family system be, the core values that sustained and nourished Indian families for centuries together must never be compromised. Even if families are far away physically, they must always remain close to one another, firmly bonded in the eternal value of love, brotherhood, and sacrifice. I am sure that platforms like this conference will help us find means to adapt to changing scenarios without compromising on the identity and individuality of our civilization. I hope that throughout informed deliberations, exchange of good practices, ideal ways of living, it will be enriching for each one of you. I hope that through informed deliberation, open discussion, and you will further strengthen the institution of the family in whatever form it assumes. I extend my best wishes to each one of you to make this great vision of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam a reality. The entire world must live as a family. The geographical boundaries should not separate us. That is there for administrative purpose or identical purpose. But at the same time, we should all think about others and try to help others. This is basic Indian culture. One person asked me, sir, are you talking about Indian religions? I said, no. Religion is a way of worship. You can worship whatever you like, and there is no dearth of gods in India. We have some 30,000 gods. You can want to add some more also. 30,000 plus 1. That is also acceptable. Other than there are some people who feel that they themselves are gods. Aham Brahma. Okay, that also agreed. And there are some people who argue no God. Okay, agree to disagree. Fine. Live together and all. That's the beauty of this. But what I am insisting is about the culture. What is the difference between culture and religion? One boy asked me, sir, explain. I said, culture is a way of life. He said, मुझे समझ में नहीं आया. So then I told him, एक जीवन पद्धति है. The way you live. He said, sir, some example. Then I told him, culture, if you have a roti, bread, and you eat your bread, that is prakriti, natural. And if you snatch the bread of other fellow and eat, that is vikruti, against the nature. And if you share your bread with the other person, that is culture, sharing and caring. So we must all, the entire globe, we must follow this culture of share and care, irrespective of our religions, irrespective of our color, irrespective of our social, educational background. We all are human beings. We are all creations of God. That feeling comes through family system. That training initially comes from mothers. Brothers are later, first mothers. And woman, in India, woman includes men also. Go through the spelling, W-O-M-E-N or M-A-N, whatever it is. So that's the meaning. So woman is that comprehensive. So I'm confident that together we will fulfill the responsibility entrusted to us by our ancestors to lead the world from darkness and ignorance to the light of wisdom. I wish IGNCA and this conference a great success, and I would like to convey my best wishes to all of you. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.